Well, what I'm going to talk to you today, I've actually been, every day I've read this scripture all week long. And every time I read it again, something new pops out of me. That's a story we all know. You know? It's out of Genesis chapter 4. And it's a story of life. It's a story of death. It's a story of conviction. It's a story of discipline. It's a story that's very relevant to who we are. Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. I'm going to read out of the NLT today because I liked the way it put things versus the NIV. So I just going to read it out of the NLT today. Now Adam slept with his wife Eve, and she became pregnant. When the time came, she gave birth to Cain. And she said, with the Lord's help, I brought forth a man. And later she gave birth to a second son named Abel. Let's stop right there. Why is she still saying God's helping her? I mean, just before this, they get kicked out of the garden. They lose eternal life. Their spirits die. And they're kicked out of the garden, they're kicked out of paradise. But she's still having a relationship with God. Even after God disciplined them. You know, God disciplined them. God didn't cast them away from Himself. That's not who God is. They made a mistake. Alright? They messed up. But God disciplined them. And through what they did, yeah, there's a curse on the earth, and there's a curse on women for childbearing, but you know what? Eve passes a character test. Because it takes character to be disciplined and still go back and have a relationship. You know, as children get disciplined all the time, but they're kind of like puppies. Their memories of discipline is small. But as adults, you know, being rebuked, well, that's going to hit our self-esteem. That's going to hit our pride. But Eve didn't rebel. She didn't think God overreacted. She didn't even think it was unfair. And she accepted the punishment and went on with a relationship with God. Because here she says, with the Lord's help. So God hasn't abandoned them. You know, a lot of people think, excuse me, when we messed up, you know, we messed up so bad that we can't have a relationship with God. Well, they did the original sin, and they still have a relationship with God. They did a sin that's going to cost all mankind. But they still have a relationship with God. We need to know that, you know, because we're all disciplined. Every time we're convicted in a sermon, we're being disciplined. It's like Pastor Kathy said last night, when you stop being convicted, you're a child of the devil. That was pretty harsh, wasn't it? But it's true. It was straight. Yeah, she shot straight from the heart. So, when they grew up, continue on, Abel became a shepherd, while Cain was a farmer. Another version of the NLT says, Abel tended the flocks, while Cain cultivated the ground. To cultivate something is, You know, to become a farmer, all right, we all see the guy in green jeans and driving the tractor and maybe with a hoe or a shovel and planting seeds. But to cultivate something, to cultivate ground, it's intense. When you have to work it, you have to turn it over. You prepare the dirt for the seed, you know? And it's just like in all other creation, in all the animal kingdom. For the seed to grow, it has to be prepared. The womb has to be prepared. Okay? And the ground has to be prepared for all the seeds that are coming. Nowadays, you know, we fertilize the ground. We found out, you know, we were watching these big trucks dump these big piles of white stuff out in these fields. And we didn't know what they were, so we met this vineyard feller, and he told us, oh, that's to correct the pH of the ground. You know, we're going, oh, well, there's something else. You know, back in Colorado, there were a lot of corn farmers, and we had to put nitrogen on the ground to replace it because nitrogen, you know, it takes nitrogen and builds proteins, and so, and the cultivation is to de-weed it, you know, to make sure that the only thing that's growing in there is the plants you want growing. I mean, I noticed the vineyard guys. They go out there and they make sure there's no grass where the water is watering the vines. So the only thing that's getting the nutrients out of that ground is the vine. The only thing that's going to get the nutrients out of the guys who grow corn is the corn. And they drive over the field 13 times nowadays in the States to grow corn. 13 times they drive their tractor over the field. That's a lot of intensive cultivating. Cain is cultivating the ground. He's not just a guy that's going out throwing seed and expecting it to grow. Right? He's preparing, you know. It's a lot of hard work. Being a shepherd's a lot of hard work. I mean, it's the lowest job in the world, but as far as the culture back then. I mean, even today, you know, sheep farmers don't get paid a whole lot. You know, especially since the wool market's gone. But somebody, nowadays, you know, they don't spend time with the sheep because they got fences. You know, they have fences, and there's even a fence that goes all the way across Australia to keep the dingoes out. I think that's amazing. Yeah, so you got guys that's their job, to live on the fence. I mean, that's pretty cool. We saw what was that, a documentary on that fence. So they don't have to have guys living with the sheep. You know, we were walking down the road, you know, and all the sheep were, you know, I bad at them. They all looked at me, and most of them came within 20 feet. Because of one. There was one really curious one, and they all followed him. But, you see, back then the sheep, the herders, lived with the sheep. That's why they did the voice. Right? That's why Jesus said, my sheep will know my voice. Because they live with me. Alright? It's what we have to do. We have to live with Jesus. We want to know his voice. But Cain cultivated the ground. And it also, you know, this is a little side track, but it also teaches us that we have to cultivate relationships. You cultivate relationships, you spend time, you spend energy. You spend yourself on relationships. Relationships don't happen. You know, they are cultivated. Just like you got to prepare the ground of both hearts for a relationship. Right. So, at harvest time, Cain brought to the Lord a gift of his farm produce, while Abel brought several choice lambs from the best of his flock. Now, we've all heard this, the offering was right and the harvest, right? The Lord accepted Abel's he accepted Abel and his offering. But the Lord did not accept Cain and his offering. You see, it wasn't just the offering God's looking at. We bring our money and we put it in the little baskets, and that's our offering. But if we're just throwing the money in the basket, we're Cain. If we're coming with the right heart, you see, how did these guys even know to bring an offering? I mean, what would possess them to all of a sudden bring an offering to God? If they didn't learn it from their parents. Adam and Eve walked with God in the cool of the day, I don't know that this happened on the first day that they ate the apple. But Adam and Eve walked with God and they learned, when you walk with somebody, you learn what God wants. And good parents that they are, they taught their kids that you bring offerings to God. You want to cultivate the relationship. God accepted Abel because Abel was giving the best. Oh, we've heard that. Abel gave his best. But he didn't just bring one lamb, he brought several. He didn't just bring the firstborn because if you bring the first, then that should be great, but he gave a lot. Cain. And so Abel's heart is trying to cultivate a relationship with God. Abel's heart is trying to show God that, look, there's nothing of mine that is so sacred I won't give it to you. That's the right heart. That's why God accepted Abel and his offering. Cain brought some of his produce. Doesn't say he brought a large guy, doesn't say he brought one stock. But it was his heart. It was his heart. He was so into cultivating the ground that he could get crops, but he wasn't into cultivating a relationship with God. And he's just like somebody who comes to church just because they got to go to church, and they're giving the offering just because they got to give the offering. They feel obligated. It's kind of like when our kids were little. Sometimes we give them money so that they have something to give in the offering. But most of the time, they would give out of themselves. I suppose you've heard the story when Rachel was little and she had 13 pennies. And Pastor Steve was trying, well, he wasn't trying for an offering, but he was explaining the problem we had with the House of Hope. He had announced to the world that the House of Hope and Healing was finished, and it was paid for. And then he got 3 more bills of $25,000. That he didn't know they were. And they didn't have the money for it. And he's going, I'm just being a good dad and letting you know where we're at. Where we're at is we're $25,000 short on the House of Hope and Healing. And I don't think he said lied, but I have misrepresented our position on the house to the world because I already told them it was all paid for. And so we're kind of stuck, Well, the kind of people that we all started writing checks. Just go put it up on the altar. And Rachel, 5, maybe, I don't remember. It was in 2004. So she was born in 96. So she would have been 8 years old. And she said to me, she says, I have 13 pennies, can I give it? I said, yeah. She said, come with me? I said, yeah, I'll come with you. And she went and she put this stack of pennies in front of Pastor Steve. He started crying. Over 13 pennies. I wrote a $500 check. But the thing about it is that doesn't matter. That was all she had. That was all she had. And she was willing to give it. God accepted her offering. Many people gave money, but they gave out of their abundance, you know. So when we do offerings, we're doing offerings to cultivate the relationship, you know, to keep the soil right in our relationship with God. Well, that made Cain very angry and dejected. Well, I mean, really, if you had a relationship and somebody didn't accept you or your gift, you'd be very hurt, dejected. Cain was actually angry. And why are you so angry? The Lord asked. Why do you look so dejected? You know, one thing, God's a good lawyer. You know, a good lawyer never asks a question he doesn't know the answer to. You know, like back here when he said, Adam, where are you? Who told you you were naked? Every person God asked, he already knows the answer. That's why it really kind of cracks me up, you know, and God asks questions and you try to, you know, baffle him. You will be accepted if you respond in the right way. Alright? Cultivating the relationship is part of responding to the relationship. He is responding to the presence of God when he's bringing his offering. Okay? It's a response. We talked about responses Friday night. This is a response from his heart. Alright? The response that he brought was an obligated response, not a heart response. Okay? If, like we were talking on Friday night, you got to respond to the message, but if you were just responding because I said that, then that's not the kind of response God wants. You know? That's the kind of response that actually is hypocritical. Because that's not really who we are. And so, what Cain did is his response was hypocritical. Okay? It was a response that was obligated, he felt. And he says, well, you know, I gave you some of my produce. But you see, God, you will be accepted if you respond in the right way. But if you refuse to respond correctly, watch out. You see, if you respond but it's not correctly, it's not from your heart, watch out. You see, hypocrisy is kind of like opening the door to all evil. It opens the door to evil, to our church, and it opens the door to evil to our hearts. Okay? We want to be completely transparent with God. He already knows. He already knows. It doesn't do any good to try to pull one over on him. You know, you can't pull the wool over God's eyes. Alright? It's just too big. Sin is waiting to attack and destroy you. You see, God's reading his heart. His heart's not right. His heart's not cultivating a relationship. You know what sin does? Sin separates you from God. And sin wants to complete that separation. Right? The evil that's behind it wants to completely separate you from God. So our response has got to come from our heart. It's got to come from the right part of our heart. Okay? And if our heart's not right, then we've got to make it right. We've got to let God grab a hold of our heart and change it. You know, it's like when I was chasing God and I was so prideful. The chasing God was right. But the wanting God without the right heart is wrong. And God knew that. And that's what we do. You know? We have got to let God change our hearts. But you see, the thing about it is that God's trying to teach him. Alright, he's convicted. Alright, he's convicted because his heart is wrong. He didn't get accepted. That's conviction. Alright, it's not condemnation. He's convicted. God's saying, this was wrong. He's rebuking him. He's disciplining him. God loves Cain. He loves him enough to discipline him. He loves him enough to train him. He's going, look, you made a bad choice. You didn't come right. You didn't respond right. And he's going, I'm trying to teach you that if you keep your heart this way, sin is going to attack you and destroy you. And he's doing the same thing to us. Every time he convicts us, he's saying, I love you. And if you don't change this, you don't let me change this, sin is going to overtake you. And then it says, and you must subdue it. You see, the earth wasn't the only thing we were supposed to subdue. You see, the thing about it is that so many of us think that we can't live a perfect life. And we are human. And you see, the thing about it is that sin is crouching at all of our doors, ready to attack and destroy us. But we must subdue it. You see, it comes right back down to discernment. Discerning what's right and wrong. Discerning who we are. Discerning what we're thinking. Discerning our hearts. But we have to subdue the temptations so that we don't fall. It's like when Paul is saying, capture those thoughts and take them under control. We have to do that. So God's trying to teach him. You see, the thing about it is that I believe Cain was grateful at first. I believe he was grateful that the ground produced what he needed. Both of them were grateful that they had produce. I mean, the sheep produced, the ground produced. But you see, the thing about it is that when you bring the offering of your produce, it's acknowledging where it came from. It's acknowledging who actually made it happen. You see, God is our source. He's our source of everything. And too many of us think we're doing it all. You see, the thing about it is God's talking about sin. There's no law. Moses hasn't drawn the mountain yet. There's no law. I mean, wasn't the law put in place to expose what sin is? So here's God is saying, look, buddy, I'm trying to help you out. The law's not here yet, but let me explain some things to you. Your heart's got to be right with me. Your heart's got to be right in relationship with me. Because if it's not, you're going to be in sin. But you know what? You see, the hypocrisy of Cain goes on. Verse 8 it says, later Cain suggested to his brother, Abel, let's go out in the fields. He probably put his arm around his shoulder and said, come on, buddy. Let's go out in the field. And while they were there, Cain attacked and killed his brother. The hypocrisy goes on. You see, he didn't listen to what God had just said. Your response, if you refuse to respond correctly, sin's at your door, ready to destroy you. God's loving him. But Cain refused to listen. He refused to respond correctly. He took him out and killed him. Afterward, the Lord asked Cain, another one of those lawyer questions, "Where's your brother? Where's Abel?" Like God doesn't know. "I don't know," Cain retorted. And he's just like a rebellious little kid. "I don't know. Am I supposed to keep track of him wherever he goes?" I said that to my mom about my own brother. "Well, I don't know where he's at." And half the time I probably did. But, the thing about it is that Cain's heart is now hardened by the sin that he's done. Alright? The first, his heart wasn't right in the right place with the relationship. He refused to respond. He refused to respond to discipline. Unlike his mother, who obviously had the right response, who kept in relationship with God. I'm sure Adam was too, but Adam didn't say anything. Some other translations said, "Am I my brother's keeper?" We've all heard that. But see, the answer is yes. But the Lord said, "What have you done?" Oh, you didn't know. "Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." I believe that God hears the cry of injustice. Now, Cain is being very human. What he's doing is he's not correcting his problem. He thinks he's getting rid of the competition. When he kills his brother, he is getting rid of the goodie so that I look better. That's what he's trying to do. And people do that all the time in the corporate world. He's trying to make himself look better. So anyway, by Abel's actions of good, it made Cain's actions look worse. And so, Cain, being a very self-centered person, because that's what happens, when you have hypocrisy, you have the hypocrisy because you're selfish. You want to live your way. You want to have your responses. You don't want to change. And that's really what the seed of hypocrisy is that we don't want to change. And we want the way we are to be the way you refute. I heard that. You say, "Why can't you just accept me for the way I am?" No, God accepts me for the way I am. But He wants to change you. You see, Cain thought that if he took out Abel, it would raise him on the ladder closer to God. When all he had to do was let his heart change. And so it spirals. It's kind of like telling one lie. You ever told a lie? Then you got to tell 10,000 more to keep it from being found out. My mom used to always have the saying, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we first try to deceive," or something like that. Which is right. Hey. Well, it's been 30 years since I heard it, so. maybe around 40 years. Anyway. You see, the thing about it is, we do that all the time. We gossip. We tell lies. We betray. We betray our friends. We betray our family. We don't gossip about other people and put them down so that we look better. People do it all the time. And that's evil. That is evil. That is demonic. Gossip is demonic. But you see, the thing about it is, the Lord's presence is still there. When He wanted to train Abel, His presence is still there. He's still ready to train Cain. But the sin of the murder, changed his heart to respond. The sin of murder changed his attitude towards God because, as you guys say, he got cheeky with God. My brother's keeper? You see, we ask for people that are humble, hungry, and teachable. And Cain has just proven he's not teachable. He's not humble. So, the Lord said, You've done wrong. You are hereby banished from the ground. You have defiled with your brother's blood. No longer will it yield abundant crops for you, no matter how hard you work. From now on, you will be a homeless fugitive on the earth, constantly wandering from place to place. It's still discipline. Okay? It's still discipline. The thing about it is that sometimes things happen because we're being disciplined. Okay? God is still disciplining Cain. He is still. Cain has not done the unforgivable sin. We all think that he has. Oh my gosh, he killed his brother, And murder is a pretty bad thing, because you know what? God gave him his discipline. He gave him his sentence. You will. Cain replied to the Lord, my punishment is too great for me to bear. You have banished me from the land and from your presence. But wait just a minute. God didn't banish Cain from his presence. He said you're not going to be able to get anything out of the land. Cain added that. Why? Because Cain can't deal with his guilt and God's presence together. Cain adds that just like his mom. His mom added it anymore. Oh, we're not supposed to eat it after we can't even touch it. God didn't say that. Cain adds this to what God said. You banished me from the land. You banished me from my land. You see the selfishness of this. You have banished me from my land. How much did he love that land?
My translation doesn't say on that.
Well, that's all right.
It's the land.
This one says my land. Whatever. He loved that land. He cultivated it. He had a relationship with it. You talk to farmers, they've got a relationship with their ground. They do. They spend all their time with it. Look at dairy farmers. They're married to their cows. I know dairy farmers, when they go and they milk cows, they don't have to look at the cow. They just look at the other and they know who she is. It's really kind of weird. They got 300 cows and they know every one of them by their udder. They cultivate a relationship with that cow. They're married to it. They can't leave. The cow has to be milked twice a day. Every day. I didn't understand anybody who would be a dairy farmer. But, you see, the thing about it is, God didn't banish Cain from his presence. God's presence will go everywhere you go if you stay in relationship with Him. But he said you're going to be a homeless fugitive on earth, constantly wandering from place to place. God's presence will go with you everywhere you go if you're in a relationship. But you see, the thing about it is Cain's heart is still not ready to respond right. And it's easier to walk out of the presence than it is to change for him. It's easier to walk out of the presence of God than to swallow pride. It's easier to walk out of the presence of God than to realize, to admit who we are. And that's where Cain is. You see, God's presence was in the place where Adam and Eve lived. You see, Adam and Eve walked in the cool of the day with God until he kicked them out of the garden. But they're still maintaining a relationship with him. Eve, the same God, helped her to have a child. So God's presence, in some form, is still where Adam and Eve are. God's still talking to the kids. You know, yeah, they're not keep that luxury out into the thorns and the briars and the thistles. But God didn't abandon them. You see, we can mess up. And we may lose paradise. But if we respond correctly, or we change our hearts, we respond with the right heart to the correction, we get the presence of God. We can maintain the relationship. Because that's what the goal of discipline is. That's the goal of conviction. Is that we'll change to what God wants us to be. So that we'll always maintain His presence. That's the goal. That's the goal of discipline. So that we grow up. Into who God wants us to be. I mean, Peter denied Jesus. He betrayed Jesus. But he ran to him. His response was right. He ran to him. You see, the thing is Cain chose to leave God's presence. That is the revelation that I got that blew me away. He chose to leave God's presence. And that's what people do. It's just too hard to live for God. It's just too hard to live perfect. So it's easier to just leave God's presence. And then when we become godless Esau's, who despise our inheritance. Because God's our inheritance. His presence is our inheritance. Cain became like godless Esau. And he chose to leave God's presence. And so, you know, what Pastor Kathy said Friday night or Saturday night, you know, about losing conviction. It's something we need to make sure that we don't do. It's something we need to make sure that we don't lose the conviction of the Spirit. Because if we do, we will leave the presence of God on our own. We will leave it. We are here to cultivate a relationship with Jesus Christ. We're here to cultivate a relationship with God. Our hearts have got to always respond the way God wants us to respond. You know, John Calvin, who was around the time of Martin Luther, you know, during the Reformation, he came up with a teaching that you could use a couple scriptures to maybe back up, that it was once saved, always saved. Once you're saved, you're always saved. And a lot of people, you know, they'll say, you know, when somebody gets cast out, like Simon the sorcerer, you know, when Peter said, you know, perhaps God will forgive you. Simon believed, was baptized, and followed the teachings of Philip and followed him around everywhere. But then, because of his heart was wrong. He lost it. Jesus said, the way to the Father is narrow. The way to the many people are going to try to find it, but only a few will. And the door's going to be closed. And the Master's not going to answer it. And they'll be banging on the door. Who's going to be banging on the door? The world? No, they haven't wanted God ever. It's going to be the people in church. They don't, Jesus said, I don't know who you are. Did they? Then the people said, well, were they saved really in the beginning? My Bible says everyone who calls on the name of the Lord is saved. If you believe and are baptized, you confess with your mouth. That's what my Bible says. Those are the people who get saved. So, how did they lose it? They quit responding. They quit responding. They let their heart get calloused. You know, they let conviction go by. And then they leave the presence of God by themselves. We lost their life. We lost their life. Now, you know, the neat thing, you see, if you look at God's heart through all of this, God was trying to save Cain. He was trying to save him. And that's God's heart. God's heart is trying to save us. Salvation is a daily thing. Paul said, work it out with fear and trembling. It's a daily thing. And so how do we work it out with fear and trembling if we don't change our hearts? If we don't let God change our hearts, grab our hearts? Because that's who we are. Alright? We have to cultivate this relationship. You see, Cain's first love was the land. Cain's first love was the land. What's in our life? What's in our life? That God took away. We need His presence. When you heard the story last Monday night, you know, I was chasing God. I told him about everything. And everything left. You see, the thing about it is, there's nothing on this earth. For me, it's more valuable than the presence of God. Nothing. And too many people are willing to live for that. Because they don't want to change. And so, I guess the warning is that if we feel our heart getting callous, sin is crouching at your door. And it will destroy you. But we have this God who wants to restore a relationship. That's what he's doing, Cain. He wanted to restore it. Even after Cain killed Abel, God did not banish him from his presence at Cain. God wants to restore. He wants to restore us. He wants to restore our relationships. He wants to restore our families. He wants to restore it. That's who he is. He's a God of restoration. So, today, we need to examine our hearts. How are we bringing our offering of praise? How are we bringing our offering of worship? How are we bringing our living sacrifice? Are we bringing it out of duty, or are we actually bringing it out of love? Are we cultivating a relationship with God? Or are we cultivating a relationship with the world? The same thing. The amount of time we spend on anything is what we're cultivating a relationship with. You know, it can be simple. It can be simple. It can be as simple as it's easier to turn on the TV than it is to pray. It's easier to do lots of other things. I don't want anybody to walk out of that experience because it's easier. It's never easier. Because the road that you step onto is much more desolate without the presence of God. See, the thing about it is, I know the character of God, and I've read other stories in here, that Cain could have come back. If Cain's heart would have changed, God would have taken him back. God took back Israel after Israel prostituted themselves to all the other gods. After he divorced them, he said, I'll take it back. That's the God we live with. That's the God we serve. See, revival is just cultivating relationship. It's just having the right heart, the right response. That's all it is. Because when we do that, the presence of God comes in, and we live with it everywhere we go. Whether we're in the Garden of Eden or we're not. Because I guarantee you that we're all not walking, living in the Garden of Eden. We're not living in the lap of luxury. Some of us got thorns. We're sitting in thorns. We have the presence of God. You know what? And when the Messiah comes, what's the Messiah do? He restores everything. Well, that's where revival is. It's restoration. It's restoring everything. You don't have to sit in thorns. We trust in God, and we cultivate that relationship. You know? That's what Adam and Eve did, because later on, they had another son named Seth. So let's go and stand up. You know, apathy. You know what apathy is? Apathy is not caring. There's an old joke. What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. But apathy is like anesthesia to your spirit. Right? There are 4 stages of anesthesia. You know, the first stage is excitement. That's when you're going to sleep. And you realize you're going to sleep, you don't want to. You know, that used to happen a lot when they just mask people down with ether and stuff like that. They fight real hard until they pass that stage. The second stage is light anesthesia, where, you know, you can sew things up and stuff, but if you broke a bone, they'd wake up. The third stage is deep anesthesia, where you can do anything you want. You can open the guy's chest and take his heart out. And the fourth stage of anesthesia is death. You see, as you take somebody deeper in anesthesia, you're getting closer to death. But see, apathy is not caring about the conviction anymore. Alright? When you first realize it, it should make your spirit should get excited and say, I don't want to do that. Alright? And even if you don't, and you go into light anesthesia, you know, some deep trauma may wake you up. But if those don't happen, then you're going to deep anesthesia. And you won't ever cure. Alright? So, I don't want that ever to happen to you. I want you to never lose the conviction of the Spirit. Never. Because that will keep your relationship with God. Alright? So, Father, I love you so much, and I believe that that's what you want to say today. Father, I pray that you would seal these words in our hearts. You would seal the words in our hearts, God, that there would be warning signs. God, that you would put warning signs if we were just slipping away in a little bit of apathy or slipping away in the wrong heart response and not responding to your discipline. God, that you would change our hearts to be molded more like yours, more like who you are, that we could get our relationship with you tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Closer to you, closer to who you are, to walk closer with you, to never lose your presence and never walk away from it. God, seal that in us. Seal that in us. Protect our hearts. Protect our hearts. We love you, God, and we want to follow you. We want to serve you. We want revival. We want that revival relationship, that resurrection life. God, every day, every moment of every day, God. Every moment of every day. Keep sin away from our doors. Keep sin away from our doors, God, that we would ever contemplate thee. Now I want you to know, Father, that I will never leave you. Jesus, you are my Lord and my Savior. You are the King of all kings. Your relationship I want. Your relationship I need. Help me cultivate it. Help me get closer. God, help me. God, help me. Wipe every bit of apathy out of my heart. Make my heart a responsive heart. So that we can be one every day for the rest of our lives. And we will never change our minds. In Jesus' name. Amen. The presence of God is here to help change hearts, to help erase, and to help erase